Hi guys, thanks for coming. I suppose a lot of them are actually just got off from work, or they might be still at work. So we do have replay, which we'll upload later today or tomorrow. So I'm Ivan, the co-organizer of the Hong Kong WordPress Meetup. Today we are very exciting to have Henry here to talk about how to be an authority website using the WordPress. Is all relate to the SEO, because when I met Henry, I found out that he's quite experienced SEO expert in Hong Kong. You have been in Hong Kong for like many years, right? 10 years or oh, you need to unmute, I think. Yeah, you got to mute it. Yeah.
There we go. Hey guys, is that better? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So six years I've been in Hong Kong, 7 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now you're the head of SEO for the Yes Style website, which is a very high traffic website for the cosmetic and the fashion. I think they started with fashion first, and then they introduced cosmetic later. Is that right, or they actually do it in together?
Yeah, I mean pretty much together.
Right.
It's been online since 2006. It gets a lot of traffic,
Right.
over like 15 million pages. So
yeah, 2006 is quite a pioneer for the e-commerce, especially in this scale. But with your knowledge, you have been doing SEO and you have done quite some large website in the past. So I'm sure you can do a lot of good work for the company. So let me just pass you the host so you can get started.
Sure.
So here you go.
Yeah, so I'm good, right? You can see my screen?
Not yet.
Yeah, hang on a second. I know.
Sure.
Okay. Right, you should be able to see. Can you see?
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, let me just get a few things organized here. Okay, so let me so hi everyone. I'm Henry, and the purpose of this talk is to talk about how to build an authority site. So just so everybody understands what we mean by an authority site, which I'm sure you do, but it just really means that the website has authority within its niche. That could be like a big niche or a small niche, but it just has authority, and Google really respects your site for for the content that it has. What's the benefit? Well, the benefit is obviously because it makes money, right? You can either sell links, for example, or you can create affiliate content. You can sell your own products, or you can build it to sell it, which is another way of the benefit of having an authority site. So let me just move on just 2 seconds on myself, and thanks to Ivan for introducing me. But basically, I've been doing SEO for a long time, and the niches that I've experienced with is in pharmaceuticals, e-commerce, fashion, cybersecurity, event marketing. I've worked in a whole bunch of different niches within cybersecurity, and this within SEO. And this is my website in case anyone wants to get in touch as well. Let me move on because there's quite a lot of content, and I know that you guys really want to focus in on the action items. So what I'm going to do is, firstly, what gives me the right to tell you how to build an authority site? Well, I've built many authority sites, sites which have importance in their niche, and I'm going to give you 2 examples right now. So the first one I want to talk to you just to give you an example. It's called infosecconferences.com, and this site is really it's the biggest website for listing events, cybersecurity conferences around the world. The other example is growthhackers.hk, which is a Hong Kong-based website, and that's an SEO directory which lists all of the SEO agencies in Hong Kong. Just to show you some of the rankings, that the cybersecurity conferences, which is this one here, today I checked 10 IP addresses in the United States, and 10 people have me at position 1 for the keyword cybersecurity conferences. And the growthhackers.hk in Hong Kong today, 3 IP addresses having it in position 1 or position 3. By the way, this tool that I'm showing you here, what it does is because nobody sees, typically no one, it's very, very normal that people see different results in search. So you might see position 2, I might see position 1. The reason is because Google is constantly testing. It's constantly testing which is the best, websites to have a position. So these are 2 examples of directories of authority sites which I built. This is the content that I'm going to go through, and then I'm going to jump into some practical ways to make this all happen. Okay, so first off, what niche? When it comes to authority site creation, really the first thing to talk about is what niche what niche you should focus in on. Secondly, we're going to talk about whether we should use a new domain or an expiring or a domain which has been paused. Very quickly, we'll talk about hosting. We'll talk about a theme. We'll talk about how I built out these 2 examples that I showed you, which are top ranking for their keywords. Plugins which I use to build these directories. The importance of spinning data, uploading the data into the site that we're going to build, and optional using schema, and a little word on content clustering and backlinking. Okay, so there's quite a lot to get through. So let me just dive straight in. Okay, so this is probably the #1 piece of important information to give when it comes to building an authority site, which is this: what niche? Okay, where should you go after? What should you target? Well, the #1, if there's one thing you should take away from everything I'm saying, is what niche? It's this: if you're not passionate or interested in the subject, then just don't bother. Don't bother with it, because you'll get bored. Okay, you'll get fed up and you won't do it anymore. Okay, because it takes a lot of patience and it takes a lot of work. So it's really important that you choose something that you're absolutely passionate about. Typically, you want high volume with low competition. This is the dream. We want keywords which are high volume with low competition. There's a couple of tools which I can share with you. One of them is called Exploding Topics, which gives you, in fact, I'll just show you quickly. Let me just show you quickly. Exploding Topics, basically, it gives you keywords which are up and coming. Okay, so again, find your passion and then try and find keywords and content that you know that you can write about, that you really enjoy writing about. Find keyword search volume in Google Keyword Planner, and then Google A to Z. By Google A to Z, this is what I mean. That when you go to google.com and then you just type in Hong Kong A, say you want to have a blog in authority site on air pollution, well, you just go to the alphabet, air pollution app, air pollution. Just go through the alphabet here, and this is a very simple way to pull out data that real users are searching for. Let me move on. Does the niche have longevity? Is this make sure it's just not something which is going to be here tomorrow and then it goes away. It has to be a long time, because you're going to put a lot of work into this. Obviously, is it profitable? And don't remember, it's as much work to sell a book as an affiliate for your authority site as it is to sell a roofing contract. The point I'm making here is it's just as much work to build a authority site in different niches. So you may as well do something which is profitable and really does make money. So just to carry on with what niche and keywords to go after, remember that what we kind of really want, in my opinion, is long tail, which is this bottom one here. We've got much less volume, we've got a lot more specific search. So that's one thing to always bear in mind. The keyword research is going to be absolutely vital to every single aspect of your planning of the website. So this is another really important thing to talk about. That a lot of people believe that you should be doing, you should start your domain. Okay, so you call your website, you find your niche, you have your idea, and you go and register a domain. Honestly, that's a good idea, but it could be a serious amount of work to get it going. What is a probably better idea is to buy an existing website, either an expired domain, excuse me, either a domain which is expired, which, remember, it depends, it can be very expensive, it can be cheap, it depends, but it's very competitive there's a lot of people buying these expired domains, so this might not be such a good idea. Or what you can do is you can find domains which are for sale and haven't gone offline. So Google likes that because the domain has not gone offline, okay? So before this presentation, I found this website for sale, excuse me, which is in the pet niche, okay? And this domain for sale in the pet niche, let's say you wanted to go after the pet niche, okay? This domain is $3,000, okay, 3,240 US dollars. That sounds quite expensive, but honestly, it's really not, and I'll tell you why. Because to build all of these links, which you see on the left, you've got links from Wikipedia and a bunch of other high authority domains. This saves you so much time. This cost here is really the cost of your time. So you have, for example, 18 high authority links that come to this domain. So it's kind of a very good idea to buy a domain because it just speeds up the process. It's already been indexed, very likely, and you can get traffic to it much easier. Let's move on, and then we're going to get into the WordPress, actual kind of deep dive into the WordPress. So hosting, this is my opinion, just keep it simple, okay? I would go with SiteGround or WP Engine are two very good, very simple hosting. But the important point about this step here is this: keep it local. So host it in Singapore. If it's a Hong Kong authority site you're going after, host it in Singapore. If it's a UK market, host it in the UK. A lot of people think that it doesn't really matter. I disagree. I think it's important to keep it as local to your market as possible. WordPress theme, I would always go GeneratePress. That's my favorite. Why? Because it's fast, easy to use. There's excellent support, and there's many, many free themes that you can go with, right? So here's actually building out the authority site. Okay, this is work for me, and it can probably work for you as well. Okay, like as I've demonstrated, I'm right at the top for the keywords which I've gone after. Okay, this is what I did. So Google likes directories because, in my opinion, they add value, right? So what we can do is we can play Google at their own game. We can take data from Google, improve it, spin it, and put it back on Google. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So this is some data scraping. We take some data out of Google Maps, and then we put it back on WordPress, and then we can monetize that data on Google, right? So to do this, we need two tools. Okay, we need to go to Google Maps and use a tool called Phantom Buster, right? So Phantom Buster is a tool which I'm going to show you right now, if you don't know already. So Phantom Buster is a tool which lets you scrape Google Maps, okay? So this tool here, without jumping into the tool, because it's going to take quite a while to kind of give you a demo of it, but it's very, very simple to use. It's really not difficult. All you do is you go to, for example, Google Maps, okay? So let's stay with the pet niche because I showed you that expired domain in the pet niche. So you come to Google Maps, look at the URL at the top. Okay, it has to have that URL, Maps, and then we can do, for example, Pets Hong Kong. And then, as you know, because you guys have seen this a million times, when you do this, it pulls up all of the businesses related to the pet niche in Hong Kong. For the tool that I told you, Phantom Buster, you copy this URL, you come to Phantom Buster, you create an account, and then you simply go ahead and you go to the Google Maps script here, which is this here, and then you click into this and you literally paste that URL of the maps, and it scrapes all of the data from the listings. Okay, so what you've done now is you've just gone ahead and you have scraped all of the data within the pet niche in Hong Kong, for example. Once we have this data, now we can actually start to build out the authority site within the pet niche. Because what we can do, for example, is go after the keywords, you know, best pet store in Hong Kong, or something relating to pets in Hong Kong. So, you know, healthy food for dogs in Hong Kong, or anything to do with long tails and the pet niche. But how do we get that index? How do we get people to look at our site? Well, one of them is doing what I said. We can, for example, do a pillar piece of content which talks about the top 30 places to to buy pet products in Hong Kong. So to do that, this is how I did it. All right. So this is a tool called local sites, where you can basically spin up a local version of WordPress, which just makes life a lot easier. You don't have to host it. You can just, it's very easy to set up. You just basically click here, create new sites. It takes 2 seconds. I've already done it. And the local site that I set up has the plugins that I'm going to show you. So the plugins, let me just go back to my presentation so I don't lose my spot. So the plugins to build the directory, okay? The ones that I use is WordPress. It's called WordPress Pods. You've probably heard of ACF, which is a very popular plugin called Advanced Custom Fields. I'm sure you've heard of that. I personally prefer WordPress Pods for the reason I'm going to show you, and another plugin called All Import Pro, right? So let's get back to WordPress. Within WordPress, the plugins that I told you are this one here, Pods and All Imports. So the way that Pods works is it's as simple as this, and this is why I prefer it over Advanced Custom Fields. When you come add new, you create a post type or a taxonomy, which means categories or tags, or you can change the settings page. So here you create your custom post type. And what I've done is I've done it already, okay? And it's called pet stores. So this URL is going to be listing pet stores as a directory. So this site is going to become the authority in Hong Kong, which has everything to do with pet stores in Hong Kong, okay? This is going to be the authority within pet stores. Everything to do with pet stores in Hong Kong is going to be on this website. So if you click into the custom post type, this is where the pet stores are going to be, right? Let me just show you how to make a custom post type, okay? You come to add new, and then you simply create new. Leave this here. You would put pet store, singular. You'd then plural, pet stores, you would click next, and then it would go ahead and create the custom post type. I've already done that, so I'm not going to create it again. Once you've made it, it's here, okay? And within the section, don't worry about that error. If there's an error, I'll fix it if there's anything wrong with it. Anyways, once you come into your custom post type, you create custom fields. And these fields are related to the Google Maps data, which we scraped, right? So let me just pull up the data, which I scraped as well. Okay, just 2 seconds. Give me a sec. I'm going to log into an account, and then it's all going to make sense once you see it. Once you see it in action, and then we'll tie it all together. Okay, so let me go back to the workflow. Right. So the workflow that we're saying here is to scrape Google Maps for all of the goodness which comes with Google Maps. All right, so I've done this already. To save time, I've done it already, okay? So let me upload data that I scraped from Google Maps using that tool. And it is, mutation, here it is, okay? It's a simple CSV file. And here it is. So these are the fields that I scraped from Google Maps, right? So we've got the title, which is the name of the shop. We've got the category, the attributes, the address, etc. Okay. So this data we want to now put up. We could simply do this. We could just take this shot and then copy and paste every single one. Come here, right? Add new, right? Put in the name of the title, copy and paste all of these fields. But that's just going to take forever. Okay. What we could actually be doing is having, many more of these, like 100 pet stores, all throughout Hong Kong, in every single area of Hong Kong. The other thing we do as well, and this is one of the important bits for the SEO as well, is we can have the description here. Okay, so the description here is a whole bunch of text which you can put. So each of these would have a description text as well. It's either up to you, or you can outsource this and have somebody put in some text relating to this shop here, or you can just spin it. So to spin it, let's just create some content for these actual pet stores. So this is a tool that I really recommend. It's called Quillbot, and what Quillbot does is it simply spins text. So this is the best pet store in Hong Kong, and will be in our authority website. Just got that right. Okay, and then you just simply click paraphrase. Okay, and then all it does is it takes the sentence and it just like spins it. It takes the same sentence, but it spins it gently. So basically the point I'm making here is what you can do is you can scrape the description of each of these shops and then spin it. Why do you want to spin it? Because then the content is more unique, right? So each of these can be spun. You find, so this shop here called Wise Pets, we go to the shop and then we can spin it. And then we create our data set here. Once we've done this, then we go ahead and download the CSV and put it in here. We'll call it version 2. Right, that's it, downloaded. And then let's go back to WordPress. So, as I said, you need this pods admin, the WordPress pods custom field plugin set up. Very, very simple to install. And there's a whole bunch of tutorials as well on how to set it up. But essentially, you upload the plugin, activate it, you add a new custom post type, just like I said, and then you create the custom fields. So the custom fields, let's just remind ourselves, the custom fields match the columns here. So description, so for example, address, you see address? There's address, okay? All you do is you add a field and then you just click and then you just basically match it up. It's as simple as that. The other plugin which I mentioned is called All Import. And then what you do here is once you've got your data set, okay, this plugin called All Import. That's what it's called. It's called WP All Import. You upload the file. We called it, let me just get it. The one that you saw me taking. Right, there we go. Okay, now what we do is we match it to the custom post type. And the custom post type is pet stores, okay, which is this here, right? It's that one right there that we made with pods. Continue to step 2, and this is where it all should make sense. This page here tells us the actual data that we have on our spreadsheet. Okay, it's just matching this. So this is all good. Continue to the next step. And now we need to match the data. So the title, this is the title, the WordPress, the custom post type title. So what you do is you just drag this over. The description, do you remember we spun the content? So we made this content unique, right? So each of the shops is going to now have unique content, which we're going to drag over. Okay, just like that, right? Custom fields. We have custom fields, okay? You click see detected fields, and now it's pulled up the fields that we have. Okay, because remember, we scraped the address, the website, and the phone number. So the address, all we do is we simply drag it over like that. The website, we drag it over like that. And the phone number, which is here, we drag it over like that, right? Now we go ahead and there's some other things we can do here. We can set it publish, post dates. We can do a whole bunch of random post dates. So it gives the impression that these were created over the course of time. To be honest, doesn't really make any difference. I would just do random posts. Why not? Okay. And the other thing you can do as well is the post slug. You can create your own unique URL. So the URL could be, for example, Portsmouth, for example, the name of the shop. Continue to step 4. And once we're here, we just very simply auto detect. This sets up a unique identifier to make sure that we don't duplicate content, because each of these is going to be a unique post, right? Okay, we make sure that's all good, and then we'll go ahead and click continue and let it run. Okay, it took just a split second because it's only 20 records. I've done this for like 20,000 records. Okay, so now if we go to our custom post type, there they are. You see, all of the shops are now in here. It's as simple as that, and I'm glad it worked, because when you do it live, these things tend not to work. So unique reptile, for example, is a shop in Hong Kong, and if we look at the actual post, then the website and the phone number aren't there for some reason. I don't know why that one is there. Let me just go back. Let's just find one that we know has one. Let's look at Portsmouth, this one here. Okay, just to show you that it does work. And here it is. So we should have, fingers crossed. Well, yeah, there it is. Okay, so the data populated very nicely, right? So now, if we go now, we can go back to the site, to the actual custom post type. And if we now view the page, you see how it's all here. This is the description, which, reminder, you can spin, which makes it unique. It makes it unique. So this URL can now be indexed. You see how it says pet store Portsmouth? Okay, so this is our domain, obviously, and this pet store Portsmouth. So we can make this so it's very unique. So like 300 words, 200 words, something special about the shop, and there's a distinct possibility that we can get it indexed. So once we've done that, okay, so this is where we're at, right? We've now built our directory. We've also spun the content, so each of these URLs can also be unique as well. The next piece to talk about uploading data, we've done that. Okay, I've demonstrated how simple it is. This is an interesting one, schema. Okay, so schema, we want to help Google understand what our content is about. So the actual schema piece, the schema, I'm sure you know, there are plugins that can do this, but you can also create your own version as well. And the schema markup, if you guys don't know what schema is, then just please put a comment in the chat. But essentially, what schema does is this. So what it helps with is like pet stores, Hong Kong. Okay. Anything which comes down here, and people also ask. So maybe like best dog food vegan. Okay. This is helped by schema, and schema is simply a bit of content which you can create, and you can either create it as an event or an FAQ. This, you can make it so it's HTML. A lot of people use JSON, but you can also use it for addresses. So I'll go back to WordPress to explain what I mean, and hopefully this will explain it better. So if we go back to the pods, WordPress pods, which is a custom post type, let's open the custom post type, which is called pet stores. Okay, this obviously needs a template to work. So the template to make this work is one of the drop downs, which is called templates here. And within the template, we have the HTML, which opens up the actual data. So this should really be quite easy to understand, that the template, which is on the website, you fill out the address, the website, and the phone number. This is all data which came from the upload, right? So if we, for example, go back to the pet stores here, let's take the example that we've been using, this Portsmouth, this one here, right? When you view this on a browser, okay, this is all part of the template. So the address, the website, and the phone number. That would be edited here. So just to prove it, we can make this bold, and this will now be bold. And then I'm going to get back to the schema point. But now if we go back to the page, this should be bold, just to show you that it's, yeah, you see, all right, so it's very, very simple to edit. Now, going back to the schema, you put your HTML, it's either JSON or it's HTML. You can put your schema code in here, which is relevant to the address. So Google, once you help out Google, you don't have to do this, it's just an extra bonus, but this, you want to tell Google that this is an address in Hong Kong. That's important because, again, we want to be the authority site in Hong Kong. So the more signals we send to Google about pet store in Hong Kong, the website, and the phone number, especially the phone number, that's really going to help get an index for being associated with the area or the region you want to be associated in. So that is the schema. Okay. I've spoken quite fast and I've given you literally a way to go ahead and create a directory using several tools, okay, by scraping Google Maps, okay, taking it, spinning it, and uploading it to WordPress. That's going to create the website, okay? That's going to create some content and some interesting content as well, because remember, you're helping people. So somebody who wants a kind of the best vegan dog pet stores in Hong Kong, you can help them out. That's been built, that's good. But what's more important now is the content, because Google, you know, building what we built for example, all of these stores here, that's all well and good, but we need content. The more content we have, the better it is. The way that you need to organize your content is called content clustering. And if there's one thing that you need to do for your authority sites is this, you really need to organize your content in a very structured way, okay? So if you go back to one of my examples, remember at the very beginning of the presentation, I told you that I have this authority site within cybersecurity conferences. The reason why Google likes this is because, for example, when you search the events, the way that I built the site, okay, is that you'll see here that it's organized by country. So each of the conferences is kind of subdivided by country. So if we take, for example, the United Kingdom, okay, look at the structure of the URL, okay, look how it's written at the top, okay, it's country, United Kingdom, right? So this is applicable to any sort of, let's do France, okay, it's going to load up France, you see, and then each of the tags, each of the H1 tags then moves over. And then also like the top cities, right? So, you know, and it goes on and on, right? But the point I'm making is that you just need to really structure content as best you possibly can. Keep it organized. These bits of content here, for example, do you see how there's a square and there's a triangle and then another square and then a circle? This could literally be bits of content relating to the pillar bit of content. So like I said, imagine we had we're trying to index for pet stores, you know, for the best pet store in Hong Kong. So this center could be best pet stores in Hong Kong. Each of these little circles represents one bit of content that pushes up to the main piece. So you've got, for example, little subsections of the content. So you could have, you know, for example, you could have the best vegan foods, best, you know, like, you know, interesting collars for dogs, where to take your cat. You see the point I'm trying to make here? You just create as much content as possible, but that all powers up the main one. Okay, so it's imagine like, take the example of fruit, right? We want to index, we have a very important piece of content that we want to compete for, which is, let's just say apples. We want to be #1 in Google for apples, okay? Each of these little circles here would be a blog post of maybe 500 words. We'd have red apples, purple apples, apples, famous apples which are eaten in the United Kingdom, apples common to France, etc. So like subdivided content that pushes up the main. Okay, I hope that makes sense. But I can't emphasize this piece enough, the content clustering. Keyword Cupid is a good tool. So if there's one thing you take away from probably my bad explanation, is this. Go ahead and hit Keyword Cupid. This will help you out and probably explain it better than I have. Keyword Cupid, what it does is it takes thousands of keywords. What's going on? Website's not loading. So Keyword Cupid takes thousands of keywords and it organizes them. It puts all these keywords into groups. So you've got one group here, another group here, and another group here. And each of these groups can be pieces of content that power up your main bit of content. So this is something which you should take a look at when it comes to authority sites, because you need to plan and organize your content based upon the keywords. So get your keywords. You can get your keywords by scraping other websites. You can use the tools that I suggested at the very beginning of the presentation. But once you have like 10,000 keywords, it's just going to look like a headache. It's going to look like a bit of a nightmare. A tool like Keyword Cupid will find structures and will find common threads between all of those keywords. Okay. To give you another example of what I mean is this. This is another interesting tool you can take a look at. So Ask the Public is another tool that you should use to structure your content. So let's just do pet stores in Hong Kong again, okay? So this is kind of similar to Keyword Cupid, or better said, a good place to get your data. And what it does is it pulls all of the different questions, prepositions, comparisons, and alphabeticals are related to the keyword. So what I was saying about this, about here, for example, each of these circles would be like, this would be a blog post. This could be a blog post. This could be a blog post, okay? You can have a comparison, where to buy pets in Hong Kong, right? That's good. This could be a piece, a piece of content that belongs to the cluster, right? So you just have to sit back and organize it. You've got to organize the data, you've got to organize your blog posts and your content really, really well. Keep it really simple for Google to understand. The more you help Google, the more Google will help you, right? So just keep it very, very organized. I can't emphasize that enough. Another piece to talk about is obviously backlinks, which is a massive subject, and you're going to need backlinks, period. All right, you're going to need them. Obviously, you can pay for links, you can generate links, you can just create great content. People will link to it, you hope. Infographics is very, very old. I still believe in it. I think it works. Skyscraper techniques. There's many, many different ways to get links, right? But I want to refer you back to what I said at the very beginning, which is you can spend a lot of time and energy building links, a lot of money, or you can buy a domain, right? Because all these links here is going to take you it's going to take you months, if not years, to build out. Just pay for it. Just get it. Okay, this is in a pet niche. It's got all of these domains. So that that's my biggest takeaway from this presentation, is that you go ahead and really consider buying a previous domain within your niche to save you a lot of time and energy, or it's up to you. That's the way that I would do it. Some further tips which I want to share with you is automate. You've got to automate this. Okay, if you don't automate it, you're probably just going to have a bit of a headache, because all of the content here, for example, you can do the research and you can also pay for the research, but once you've got all of that data, you need to have a structured format. And that format could be you get a hold of the data. So you create the blog post here, But then you need a process where somebody takes the content, they spin the content, they put the keywords in, and they publish it to WordPress, for example. That's going to take a lot of time. So you need to automate it. Otherwise, you'll probably go nuts and you might lose interest, which is, if you lose interest, this is what happens. If you lose interest, then people come along and buy your website, because this person probably lost interest, but they did a lot of work, which you can now take over. The other tip is find a virtual assistant to do the automation, and also try to create consistent content, because Google loves fresh content. And lastly, what you can measure, you can control. So you have to measure everything that you're doing. The final thing I want to say before I forget is that Google yesterday launched a new algorithm update. And I'm telling you this because it's in association with something called Helpful Content Update. So on August the 25th, 2022, Google launched a algorithm change. And this is very relevant to what we're talking about, because Google is now really making an effort to index content that it finds is truly helpful and useful. Okay, the days have gone of spam and spinning crappy content and just copying someone's content, spinning it and filling it up. I know that I said that with the Quillbot here, but you need to be a little bit creative with your content. I'll summarize. You've just got to make sure that your content is truly useful and helps people. As long as it does that, then I think you'll be absolutely fine, and you can go ahead and create the authority site. So the last thing I'll say is that what we've spoken about is a directory, and they work for me. So that's why I've shared them, because like for Hong Kong, for example, Hong Kong SEO, this morning I was position 1 to 3 people for that pretty competitive keyword. And this is exactly based upon a directory, which I did using all the tools that I've shown you. I did exactly the same thing. See, all of this, it's exactly the same. It just looks pretty and nice because it's on a generate fresh theme. So that's what I have. That's me finished, Ivan.
Cool. Thanks a lot. We do have some question on the floor. Matt actually asked for any tools do you suggest for affiliate marketing?
Tools for affiliate marketing. There's one which is really good. Let me just see if I can find it. The tool that I don't do much affiliate marketing, but there was one tool that I really liked. Let me just see if I can find it. Can't think of it right now. No, I can't. There's one tool. I can't think of it now, but the tool that I have in mind, what it does is it finds any broken links. Because, for example, if you are an affiliate to a website, to a product, and then that product is out of stock and that product is broken, you could be having that URL on your website for months and months and months, people clicking it, but when they click, they go to a broken site. That's a waste of time for everyone. The tool that I had in mind, what it does is it checks for broken links. Let me just spend another 2 seconds on it. Affiliates, broken link, check that out. No, I can't. Yeah, anyway, to answer the question, that's a tool. Those keywords, I think, quite useful, I think.
Right, but normally if I have a site that I want to do the affiliate business, right?
Yeah.
If you find out that I have a broken link, you don't actually have the ability to change the link in my website. Probably you can notice me, but because I'm in the affiliate business as well, so very likely I'm not going to use your link, right? Exactly.
As I said, I'm not a big affiliate marketer. It's not. I mean, I've done it before, but it's not something I'm more kind of advertising and you know,
Sure.
and SEO, so some things I do.
Right. If you guys have question, you can unmute or you can leave your question in the chat. Meanwhile, I do have a few questions for you.
Yeah.
I heard that there are some affiliate site. They have been having trouble since the May this year, the core update. Seems
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it target the affiliate site more than other site. Is there any way you could think of that could recover the traffic so they can maintain their affiliate business?
It comes back to this. Look at the updates. Okay, it comes back to this. So the review update, you're probably talking about this on March
Yeah.
23rd. There was the product review update. Okay,
Yeah.
this and this are well, actually the product reviews update as well.
Mm-hmm.
So to answer your question, for an affiliate, you have to be a genuine review person. In other words, if I'm going to review this mobile phone, I have to own it. I have to physically, literally own it and talk about it and make it genuine. How do they know that? Well, I think the algorithm is getting a little bit more intelligent with understanding whether you just, basically just bullshitting it. I think it just has to be, content which is truly. We're just trying to get rid of all the crap that's out there. So it's like anything. It's really better that you own it, you review it, and because remember, if you're posting videos and you're posting unique images of the product, then that's going to definitely help you rather than somebody who just writes text, right? So yeah, basically try and buy it if you can.
Yeah. So Yo-Yo has a question for you. Do you suggest Cloudways for the local SEO as hosting? Which one is better, SiteGround or the Cloudways for the Hong Kong market?
For the Hong Kong markets, I've used Linode, DigitalOcean, and SiteGround as well. I mean, it depends. Honestly, it depends on your budget. I mean, if it's like I like digital. I mean, if you want to host it in Hong Kong, then I would suggest DigitalOcean because you have a lot more power over putting the domain in your location. SiteGround though is very cheap. You have unlimited domains for $100. Okay, so for $100 for the first year, you have unlimited domains, which is nice because it means that you can do the experiment. The Siteways, I've never used Siteways, but I would definitely take a look at SiteGround because I've had very good experience with SiteGround and DigitalOcean.
Sure, thanks. So I saw you were using the Phantom Buster in order to scrape content. So does it run on cloud or I need to install the extension in order to run?
You don't do anything for basically Phantom Buster scrapes social media accounts like LinkedIn. But to answer your question, for Google Maps, you don't need any proxies, you don't need any apps, it's all runs in the cloud. Because they have their own proxies. Because if it was you doing scraping, Google will kick you out in 2 seconds. So yeah, you just copy paste it. As long as it's Google Maps, the Google Maps URL, you can scrape.
Sure. So because I also did some niches for the scraping, exactly using the same method but different tools to get it from the Google Cloud, the Google Map. But something I got trouble in is that let me actually quickly show you guys. Let me get the screen and then I can show you what I've got really quickly. So because you were talking about the pet niche, so this is the pet site exactly for Hong Kong market. So I put it in Hong Kong. I use different plugin. I kind of like scrape 1,334
this is exactly the same.
Because all the SEO guy they like to scrape thing and they build a directory. I use the different tools, but it's the same idea. I get it from the map, and then I got the review, the telephone number, address, and I also used like a related shop. And these two parts is more like what is this shop, that kind of thing. So this is a FAQ schema.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
but I try to do that by more automatic way to do it because it is a custom post type. But based on this, I actually has a problem when I search for pet in the keywords. That's my boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when I search for pet, it actually search for the title of the shop, not necessarily for the category. So I need to run a few search in order to predict or try to get all the shop related to the pet. Because in Google, there are like 1,000 something category in the Google My Business, as far as I remember. So where in your example, you actually type the keyword pets in the Phantom Buster. Does it actually grab for the title of the shop, or does it grab the category of the shop?
It grabs the category of the shop, I believe.
Right.
Remember that you can, I mean, when you do the Google Maps URL, that's your Google map, like Hong Kong, for example.
Yeah.
It's very easy to see if it's really got the right, the right data in there. But your question about the actual searching, are you talking about when the visitor to your website types in?
No, because when I do the scraping, sometimes when I type, because the tools I use is called auto something. I couldn't remember the name. When I do the searching, sometimes it grabs the categories, but sometimes it grabs the title.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily that the company have the pet wording in the title is actually a pet shop.
Yeah.
It could be pets something.
Sure.
Could be another wording. So there will be chances that it grabbed the wrong listing, but I won't have the chance or the time to screen every single listing. So how do you solve that issue, or is it quite difficult to do?
Yeah, it's a bit of patience, right? So you just have to kind of do a whole bunch of different scraping. You put it in the spreadsheets. You can then filter it. You can filter it by alphabetical, and then if there's any kind of crap in there, because it will pull up random shops and random data. It will do.
Yeah.
For that, unfortunately, I think you just have to use the human eye and just be a little bit patient of it. I mean, the most I've done is basically I've done like kind of about 8,000. I built a site which was for supermarkets in the US, or for a particular kind of supermarket in the US. It was food in the US, and I ended up with like 30,000 supermarkets, and it was very time consuming. But you just have to do it manually, I'm afraid, as much.
About the traffic, do you actually get tons of traffic from it? Because for that particular pet site, I think I got like about 1,000 SEO traffic per month. I'm not sure because the market is small, or is it because the value I provide is not that good, because it's just a basic listing, not much value. But what I can see from the Search Console is that for those content or listing in my site, it's already ranking for the top 5. So even with that limited information, but because I suppose not that many people will put the shop name in the contents, which we do, with the FAQ schema, which help a lot, I suppose. But still, for 1,000 traffic a month is not much to monetize. So in your experience, when you do the 35,000 supermarket listing, roughly how much you could earn? But because you target overseas, right, not in Hong Kong, so it should be a lot more traffic, right?
Yeah. So I mean, to actually make money from a directory, the best one I have is the cybersecurity conferences, because that's user generated, okay? And that's the dream. And I didn't mention that during the presentation, but the dream is that you don't do, like, you upload the data, you scrape the data, you upload the data. That's just to get it going. Once it's going, then you want the pet shop owner, for example, to say, hey, that's my shop. And they contact you, they improve it, and they do it. So to answer your question, the the way that I've made money from directories is building out a community on the back of it. So with the cybersecurity conferences, for example, it's highly targeted, and it's basically people who want information for events. So the newsletter that I built out, it's built up, there's about 30,000, 40,000 people in that newsletter, and you publish it and you invite them to an event, for example, and that can get monetized. So the way that I monetize it is by building out a community of people that you can then, market to. There's also the advertising piece as well, right? The affiliate side as well. Everything adds up. Remember, your 1,000 people a month, as long as it's targeted, that's good. And there's also the intent, because if they're searching for, dog bowls or dog collar, that's someone who wants to buy a dog collar. If it's, best pet store in Hong Kong, it's a bit like, for example, that Hong Kong SEO keyword that I ranked for. To be honest, it's a bit vanity because it's not very targeted. You want, digital agency, best digital agency is a bit more targeted.
More transactional keyword kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But to answer your question, there's no specific amount of money, which I would imagine. But I mean, if you're top of the niche, in other words, you're position 0, like at the very, very top, the scheme is stuff, or position 1 or 2, you should be making money as long as it's a niche with people who are going to spend money in. That's the important thing.
I actually had another site, which is our affiliate site, but it's not for scraping. I manually copy like 50 different products, online products, and apply for the affiliate. Using the exact same method, using the H1, using the FAQ schema. For that particular site, I don't target local Hong Kong traffic. I target global traffic because it's for the online tools, which is not just for Hong Kong users. But interestingly, I have about 60 traffic, SEO traffic a month only, but already close to due for the affiliate marketing. So basically, I generate like $70 from a site which only got 60 traffic at the moment. It's a new site.
It all helps, right? It all adds up.
Yeah, so it really depends on the traffic quality, whether it is a bottom of the funnel or the top of the funnel. But for the scraping at the moment, to me, it's more like the top of the funnel. It's more like an informational query kind of thing. So to me, it seems harder to generate money out of it, at least at the moment. But for your case, you use it as a start, and then you introduce UGC for the particular events. But for the pet shop, it's slightly different because I won't be able to ask them to submit events. Maybe I shop, but I need to create another feature for such. And I don't think they will pay for that, at least at the moment in the Hong Kong market, though. So it might be different. But it's quite interesting to see what you did, what you have accomplished, because this is very similar to what I've go through since a few years ago. Because as a SEO practitioner, we like to scrape things, we like to test things, all the time. Yeah, so very good to have you here. Could you mind share your contact information just in case if there's anyone who might have question later on?
Yeah, of course. Can you see my screen?
I just give you the host. So, yep, I can see that.
Yeah. So let me just. Yeah, so my contact information.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the screen for you to see.
Or they just go to Google. You search Hong Kong SEO.
Yeah, or just yeah, exactly. So either that's my email there.
Yep.
That's like the personal site.
Yep.
Let's see here. My Hong Kong SEO is like
the keywords. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, that's just just keep it simple. That's it,
Sure.
But yeah, if anyone has any questions or wants the slides or whatever, I love helping and answering these questions. So go ahead and drop me an email and I'll come and I'll help you out.
Awesome. So it's about the end of the meetup. So thanks again for your time and your sharing. I think you're still in office, right? So you can go home now.
Yes, yeah. Thanks very much. Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Cool. Listen.
Have a good night.
Okay. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.